Okay, folks, now. Right, I'm going to start a little, a new one here, a bit of a forest scene today. Some trees, some yada yada, all those types of things that you get in a forest. Okay, I'm just going to do a small drawing here, not quite halfway across there. Okay, little path. Down so, down so, down so, down so, down so, down so. Okay. Right. Now let's get our path. Tree, tree, and tree. Now I've got distant trees here. Now where do I have this? Maybe lift that up just a little bit here. Take the path up a bit further. There we go. Just up, not quite, there's the halfway point there, there's it there. Right, so, now let me see, as I say, there's distant trees in the background here. So let's pay attention to those. And coming in around here. Right. Kind of a general drawing, at least for now. Okay. Right. So all the wax on, wax off stuff again, okay? And what I mean by wax, in case anybody, wax on, wax off is the wipe on, wipe off method here that I will be using. So, let's see, get myself a nice orange. A little bit of thing in it, what do you call it? Raw umber? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Ooh, a little bit. Ooh, a little bit more. A little bit there. Nice. A good bit of spirits there. Let's just get it established. Along here, not being at all cautious with it. Now I will want that a bit redder, so I'm going to, because remember a lot of this will be coming off. I'll be wiping it off in a more too. Let me see, just. Okay. Now, I want to keep using plenty of spirits here. I want this dry for me for tomorrow. Anyway, tomorrow-ish. I probably won't work on it tomorrow, but I always like to give myself that option. So, bum 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 bum, bum 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 bum. All right, now we're slightly moving forward here. Well, actually, I'm gonna restate that I'm moving back for this shot here. For this shot, what am I in a movie? Anyway, nice blue really greys out in orange. Maybe a bit bluer. This is all off somewhere in the distance. Somewhere in the distance, we'll find us across a crowded room. All right. Now I'm going to be wanting to come in with my tea towel, and actually I'll do it now just before it actually does set up. So, not my tea towel, these are kitchen towels. Okay, just get that piece up here. Just established there. Now I just want to mess around over here, creating all that lovely texture, mixing it all together, creating lovely textures for distances. Now along the bottom here. I never spend too much time on the back painting. I like to keep it nice and rough. Don't want to mess around with it too much. I just want a general shape, a general tone for the things that I'm after. Really as simple as that. Okay, so let's put a little bit of saturation in things here. A little bit more red, a little bit more orange. Okay, across here, get a bit of a misty. The idea of something, a little bit of far too much. I really don't want that. I do want it liquidy, but I don't want too much on it, so I don't. Now a little bit of white. Just I want to get the sense of mistiness up in here. Okay. Now, just racking it again. Now I'm going to use a cloth this time rather than a kitchen towel. I'm going to use this cloth. They are easier to wipe things away. And this will be a tree line along here. Hopefully. That's the plan. Okay. A bit of a tree line there. And then, just to keep in mind, that little path coming around here and down along here. All right, now, just setting, I'll set this down. Right. Just while I'm here, just doing a little bit of trick straight into the stuff on the palette there. Not being afraid to pick it up on the kitchen towel. All right, so I've only used one brush here. I'll find us. Oh. As I'm coming down further, wanting some colors. I am getting more and more saturated as I'm moving down. A little bit of oxide this time, just to help it along a little bit, get that rusty color going. Nice red down in here. Nice umberish, raw umberish red. Just down in here. Now there is the canvas covered. Okay, so let's go in and ruin it a little bit. And I'm trying to ruin it, but I want to keep a good bit of it there. Now, obviously, when I say I'm ruining it, all I mean by that is that I'm wiping it off. There are days, eh? There are days when the head just doesn't want to play the game. Anyway, across here, let me see what I'm doing. A nice sharp turn to here. Okay, so down here, boom. A nice turn to here, boom. Bring that down. Widening it slightly as you go because of perspective and that type of thing. Okay? And then, let's bring this to, say, here. Okay? Let me see. I want this to come up to here. There we go. Now this one here comes to here. And that'll do it. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to darken this area yet again. I'm going to wait. See, it's almost set up. It's only a few seconds, folks. It's just a few seconds. So, I'll get this little area here sorted out for now. I'm going to use some cotton buds just to establish a tree line here, or the trunk line here. Maybe use something different. Not entirely keen on that. Where's my little scraper? There we go. Right, so no, that's not working either. Well, it kind of is. No, it kind of is. All right, let me see. Yeah, all right. And again, it gives me an idea of where I want that to be. And while that is setting up, I'm going to re-establish some things here. So, let's get in some distant thingy-me-jigs. Some of these distant trees, I want to put those in. Yes, here. Now I think I want it a little bit brighter than that. Bit brighter. Not much, of course, but bit more than that. Right? Didn't make any slightest difference there at all. There we go. There we go. There's the tone I'm looking for. There we go. That's the tone I'm looking for. Could do with a bit bluer. It's a bit better. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. But let's get some lighter colors in this. Just down along here. All right. 999, 999. Coming across here. It's just as a wee reminder there of where I want that to be soon enough. There. Now, I am going to change brush this time. I want to darken this other side here just a little bit. So raw umber, some cadmium red. That's it. So at least for now, it's all I'm going to put on. Maybe a bit of, no, raw umber, a little bit more cadmium, or a little bit more raw umber. Now, some thingy-majigs, and let's put this in. Yes, that's better. Okay. Now this is all getting taken off again with the wipe on, wipe off method. Okay. Now, lovely. Okay, now. So, I'm just going to mess around with the edges of it here. I want nice soft transitions for the time being. And I will strengthen those transitions a little bit later in the game. Right. So far, okay. Now the same. Oh, and I'll get a clean bit of kitchen towel. And the same with this here. There we go. Okay. I do think the base of that needs brightened even still. Yeah, just along there. There's like a wee pathway going in there. Right, so. There we go, that leaves it nice and cool, and I'll be able to sort that out when the time comes. So, another brush. Now, I think I will get the color of the sky where I want it. So I will, that is what I will do. Right. Let me see. There we go. That's is that a bit? I'll blend it with what's on. I think it's a bit too bright. But no, I'm okay with it. I'm blending it with what's down. So yes, no, that's fine. That is fine. Even if I kid myself. Let me see, a little bit of red. Now down in here is I don't want it too much. Still have to. Yeah, that's too red. Dun, 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 dun. And up in here. Now, what I want up in here is a bit of an orange. Right, so. And now, some of that. There we go. Right. So, back to this. Just taking that off. And it creates those lovely transitions, as you can see there. I hope the rattling of this paper, we can hear me over it. I don't normally use the paper for that purpose, but it is my preferred way of painting. And as I say, I don't normally use the paper because it creates a lot of noise. Anyway, back. Let me see, I'll get another brush here, just a small flat will do. It doesn't really matter. For my purposes here, just now. Okay, happy with this now. It's coming along and it's getting to where I want it to be. But I do need to fix that transition just right in here. I want this quite soft, this transition. And better than that. I want the transition better than that. Let me see, get this right. There we go. Now, let's soften this up a bit. Clean bit of cloth, or find a clean area on the cloth, on the kitchen towel. And there we go. Now the reason I'm doing this now is because I'm going to put a wee spot in here. And I'm going to have a little bit of a sunshine in it. So I'm going to do that now. Because normally I would just leave this. Just let me concentrate. Okay. There you go. There you go, folks. Now. Right. So let's get back and work on this tree here. Okay, so I want a very grey blue here. And it's born from the orange that's on the on the palette. Okay. There we go. I want to shape it a little bit. I don't want it to be too noticeable there, but I do want you to see it. All right. Now just softening these edges here. A bit of a better transition there. Okay. Now let me see. Let me see what is to do with I just dropped me brush. Right, what I want to do is I want to put this in. I want to establish this. So, a little bit of yellow. A lot of white. Bit of red. So, let me just, and I will, now, I'm unsure. I'm unsure whether I like that or not. Let me see, I'll give myself a moment with it, and then I will probably take it off. But okay. Now, what I will do is what I do anyway, and it is just take the edges off it here, up and around here. Just let that be the centerpiece for now. And then a little white area right in the very, well, we'll see. I'm not making any promises. Right here, let me just see. Just the fluoring white, just up into here. Okay, and the same again. Let me just wipe that off and then just get this into here. There we go. Now, let me just bring this tree out a little bit closer to it. I like the idea of it kind of coming up to meet it, as it were. See, like so. Yeah, I like that, so I do. I prefer that. Let me get a wee bit of a red one here. And of course, this is going to be destroyed. Just here, just taking these edges. See how quickly that has tacked up, and that's with white in it too. Right, so let me see. Now there's going to be big trees coming up here, big trees coming up here. So what I want to do is I want to get this little area in the back here sorted so that I can see what I'm doing. Oops, a bit too dark. Not the best fan of this at the minute. Too dark. I've got myself into a bit of a too darkness situation here. Now, so let's lighten some of it up. That's going to be a way off in the distance here. I mean, the tree trunks aren't way off in the distance, but the light behind it is. Let me see, is that, it's not bright enough. It is not bright enough. No, it is not. Ba bum bum bum. Ba 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 bum. I'm going to put a little bit of pink in it, because it is in the sky. Boom, 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 boom. A little bit of blue too. A little bit of the sky in it as well would help. Okay, so now obviously that's not very good, but that's not, I'm not worried about that at the minute. There we go, just taking that. Now that gives me a nice wee spot to work with, which I will do. I will work with such a thing. Bam-ba-de-boo-boo, boom. Where is my little brush? I hate not finding my brushes. They should be more organized. But who's time for that, eh? Yeah, I was asked. Well, I've been asked a few times. Not sure whether I should talk about this or not, but a few times about what painting does for me. And well, frankly, It has helped my quite deep depression at times. Maybe all artists are meant to go through this, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But it does help. It gets me off the sofa. Yeah, I have some physical problems. I'm just trying to be open about the very awkward subject of mental health, and I don't think we should be afraid to talk about it. Now, whether you want to hear about it, well, that's a different matter altogether. Okay. So yeah, it kind of helps me a bit. Just get that worked in. There we go. Now, anyways, enough of that talk, eh? Well, da did it, did it, did it. Getting there. I just want to get these in so that I have something to remind me of. My problem with them isn't that I don't like them. Well, I don't, but it's that I'm not keen on the shape of them, which is my problem, which is what I should be fixing here. But I need another brush, and I can't find my wee brush, so I'm going to have to settle for something else. Anyway. Okay, see, for me, that's not very natural looking. You know, it's just one big line. I should be bringing this up into it. I think that's my problem, is that I'm too focused on it. What I might do is I might just leave it. That should be coming up different lines there, and I'm just getting myself caught up. See, I think that's better, even though it's not quite perfect. I think that is better, actually. That has created a bit of a different line there. So I'm just messing about here. Right, okay. I do want it ultimately a bit brighter than that, and I'll probably come along and scumble it on. But for now, that's fine. For now, I have a little spot there to be working on. Just while I'm here, while I've got the colours on the palette and all of that, I might as well just do things rather than waste the colours there. So So, as I say, right up here are going to be a couple of trees and all silhouetted against the all of this. Right, let me see. Just bring that across there, and I don't know if that's bright enough. But I'm going to assume it's bright enough for now. Yeah, I think it's okay for now. Then as I'm coming further down towards the viewer, just gets a little bit more saturated, a little bit more red, a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that. Right. Just dancing with that brush a little bit. Now, moving down right at the front here, so it's quite saturated. So reds, yellows, and umber. And a bit of spirits to help shift it off the brush. A little bit of blue in it this time, just a little bit, not much, and just creating this edge here. These things down in here. So let me see. I still just puffing around with it, folks, trying to get it the way I want it. Now, where's my other little brush? Here we go. Want a nice dark orange in it, or sorry, a nice dark umber in it. Just down in here. Just creating all those thingy-majigs, and then I shall come along and ruin it. Okay. Just finding myself a little clean spot on this, or cleanish spot. And I'm just going to gently work this up in here. And then coming down, and now I'm going to just mess around, creating all those textures. Now coming up a little bit, just being gentle. I don't want to bring it up too much into it. As we're fading away, I just don't want too much of it up in here. Okay, you get a nice transition there. So, I just want to reshape this pathway just along here. All right, yes, it's not so bad. Right, and might as well just bring it out a bit too, out in here, just to get that shape there. Okay. So we're off in the distance again. Back and forward with all these distances. Make your head light. Now this is nowhere near finished, so I'm just letting you know that there's still a good bit of work to go here. There's big trees. All this is background noise at the time being. Right, so right. Now I'm coming forward here, so I want a nice road, nice wee pathway along here. But it needs to be a bit brighter than that. A bit brighter than that nonsense. Okay. Maybe she will understand why mom and dad are not together. And maybe someday, somewhere along the way, another love will find us. Oh. Right, there's a bit of a pathway, and it's the beginning of it anyway. Okay, now just some brighter spots in it. Okay, now what I'm after is a very gentle edge here. I'm just going to use a small round brush here, clean it off. Now just gentle edges. A bit too dark. See, just to create an edge along here. It's not so bad. A little bit of detail so early on. It helps. It will help me later, so it will in the game a little bit later. Bum-ba-dee-boo-boo-boo. May as well just put it in now while I have it there. Now, I don't think the dark is right here. I'm going to darken it a little bit more. Okay. Now, you just see here, just here. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Yeah, okay, bit better. Bit better. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slightly lighten it as I come up here. Bit of a red tone in it. Slightly lightened. A little bit more of spirits on it just to help it move a little bit. And just, I know where my trees are going to go, so I'm planning for them here. That's all that's happening. Or I have an idea where my trees are going to go. As I've always said, everything is subject to change. Now, getting this in here. And then, let's just go along and ruin it. See? No, made a mistake. Made a wee mistake. I put too much, or I didn't let it tack up enough. But it's no big deal. There it goes on again. I'll let this tack up a little bit before I attack it. So I will. Right, let me see where we are. Okay. I definitely want these to be brighter. For sure. So I'm going to wait till they dry because it's a bit harder to do it when it's so wet. Yeah. We're going to drag it right across here actually. So let me see. I'm only thinking to myself while I think that these will dry. Yeah, still not there. Patience is what I do not have. There we go. There's always ways around patience, isn't there? There we go. Now, now. Where's my other brush? Where is my other brush? I can't find the bloody thing. Where is it? Anyway. I really should organize myself, shouldn't I? I tried the other day. Literally, I got the whole thing going. So I did. Put everything in different jars and all of that, and I can't find any bloody thing. Right, there is a wee there it is. There it is. Ooh. Right, glad I got that, I must say. Bit brighter, just in there. Aye, bit better, bit happier. Still not as dark as I wanted, but I'll show some patience and just let it do its thing for the time being. Now I don't like this, so I'm going to change it, and this just straight line down. It's gonna mess up the edges of it here. It's okay with it being further away, having a bit of a straight line, because well, it's further away and things straighten out. So kind of okay there, but not whenever it's close. If you want a natural path rather than a cultivated one. Okay. There we go. So what I'll do is I will wait till all of this is dry and then do the job properly. Yeah, just let that be. Now let me see. Going to take a little step back here and see if I can see this finished job without the painting, without the trees in it. So my idea here is to look at it and then impose in my imagination, impose the trees on it. And yes, I think that's dead on. Yes, dead on. A little bit of a transition now. I would like it to be a bit more gradual, but I will sort that. Do you notice what's happened? I just noticed it. Oh dear me. Yeah, I know why that transition is there, but the horizon has creeped up a little bit. But that's okay. It's above the halfway mark now, and that's fine. Okay, as long as it's not on the halfway mark, I'm okay. Right, so this transition here into the grayer greens at the top, or the grayer field at the top, I should say. It's still there a bit. So let's just push this up into it then. Yeah, that's better. That worked. Okay. All right. I think I would like to get the trees sorted out here. This tree line. And all I'm doing here is just removing the paint that's on it. I'm going to use a little bit of spirits to do that as well. Lay it down and just remove. Okay. My problem with this is that I'm not extending it up, and I don't know why. I'm not extending it up into the trees here. I have, yeah, that's a bit better. Yeah, and that's my problem, is that I'm creating this line right across, and that's fine sometimes, but that's not what I'm after. Right, so let me have another wee blast at this here. This should help it. There we go, look at that. That has helped. So it has. Indeed it has. Yes. Right. That will do for tonight. I'll let that dry. I'm just going to take another little walk back. And that will do for tonight. Yes, that has helped a good bit. And then I'll come along, I'll put the trees in, and I'll fix up the foreground. The background is not quite done. I want it a slightly bit mistier, a bit bluer along the base of the back trees here. Just blue along here and a little bit mistier. We'll see how it looks with the trees on. Anyway, that'll do for now. I'll see you again soon enough, folks. Alright, folks, back to this one. Now, this is somewhat dry. This is the next day. A few small things to lighten this area around here a little bit. Put in some blues and greys along this area, make it a slightly more misty. Now, let me see. Let me begin by getting out some brushes. These are just very cheap brushes, and they're quite rough. So they are quite stiff, quite rough, and they're not anything to write home about. So I wish to, have I got everything right? Yes, I meant to mention that I have a fan running in order to try and negate to get some circulation going in here. Right, anyway, let's get back to it. Let's get to it. So, I'm after a bit of a misty fog here off in the background. I kind of want a bit of an orangey grey color that is more blue than anything else. Or even a bit of pink in it too. Cool is what I'm after. Is the word I'm looking for actually. Cool is the word I'm looking for. Now, so that's not good. That's not what I'm after. It's kind of almost starting again here. Getting there, getting there. A bit of a cool red. This is a bit better. Over here, I'm going to have to clean off the palette already. So I am. Right, I think that's dead on. It just needs to be thinned out. Okay, now I'm going to wipe a bit off this brush here. Too much on it, because I just want this to be a thin, bluish, velvety color. The create, and it's just covering this whole area along here. Just in there. Along the tops of the grasses as well. To create that mist, and of course a lot of this is getting knocked back again with the what do you call them, kitchen towel. Now you see the mist that has created there. A little bit more blue. I'll use some ultramarine there. Oops, a bit sticking to it. Now, let's fix this area up with a bit of kitchen roll. Now, because there's spirits in it, I'm going to be very careful, because I'll remove the underpainting if I'm not. So I'm going to be careful enough, just a gentle dab, just about touching the canvas and no more. Now we have a distance going on. So let's re-establish this here. See? Just opening that back up again. There we go. Now we're way off in the distance. That's nice. That gives a sense of over there. Hopefully it does anyway. Now, I just want to work in this area up in here. So, give me a softish brush here. There we go. So again, this is a very, very heavily oranged painting. Very heavily oranged. Now, a little bit of liquid. Let me see. Yeah, that's good. Look at, now you should be able to see that on camera. Maybe not, but just going in and around the sun here. Just breaking into the trees, creating that natural break in there. All right. Now, as I'm down here, I want this to be pinkish down in here. I have that pink hue. There we go. Oh, nice and bright. Okay, now a little bit more along here, just break into it. Just creating the shape of those, recreating the shape of these trees here. Let's see them over here, just creating those edges. There we go. Now what I'll get another brush here. Where's my little... I hope you're not hearing that fan. I can hear it. It's supposed to be one of those silent fans. I'm not sure if it's doing its job or not. It's a quietly running fan anyway, so let's hope it's doing its job. Right. I just want a bit of white up in here, just above this, just in around this here. Little bit of yellow, just to offset it a little bit. All right, now, instead of destroying it, I'm just going to come along and knock it back a little bit. There we go. Right. Now I think I'm going to let that be for now. I'm going to put in the major trees. And we will see where we are. Right. So, get some raw umber out. I think, and a bit of red in it, a bit of cadmium red in it. Tiniest bit of spirits, just to waken it up a little bit, loosen it up a touch. And let's see now. Just practicing my stroke here a little bit. Now I want to place about there, okay? And then another slightly larger one about there. Okay? And then a smaller one-ish about there. Okay, so I have my bases down. Now let's see here. Let's just apply this now. I'm turning, as I'm coming up, I'm turning the brush in order to narrow. In order to narrow the width of the tree. It's a slight turn on it. There we go. Well, that's one tree in. Like I say, I want this one to kind of cross this a little bit. The base of that's too far away from it. So I'm going to come up here and then come off it, leaving a little V in here. Okay, now this one is a bit thicker. So I'm going to begin with that anyway, and just come up here, in here. Right. There we go. And the same again, just up, 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 up. Don't drift away from it too far, from this tree too far. Just up, 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 up. Okay. And then just finish it. There we go. There we go. Right. Now the same here, and I'm going to start off at an angle here because I want this one to be a bit thinner. So I'm just going to go straight up. And I'll mark for it. Now, Boom. Boom. Now, same again. Just keep going. And there we go. Now what we're after, or at least what I'm after, is some nice thick branches coming off it. So I'm going to use these here. I'm liking this at the minute. And these are the calligraphy, Japanese calligraphy thingamajigs. So I'm after nice thick branches. Just here. Boom, 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 breaking it, just jerking the hand a little bit, just to create that brokenness of a branch. And the same over here. Pop, pop, pop. I like the way the branches come off the tree. That nice thickened area, and it becomes narrower and narrower. Okay, so up in here. Right, so I'm just going to spend a bit of time doing this, and I'll come back and talk to you soon enough. I'm also not afraid to break up the branch. And what I mean by that is leaving little spaces where the light can shine through. So, you know, like coming up here and then missing a bit, coming up here, missing another bit, so on and so on. Right, so I'm just going to have to put the head down and work on this, folks. Boom. One thing I have a tendency to do is meet them. Like, I'm not doing it now, but I have a tendency of putting the branch down and one directly beside it. Because that's pattern seeking. And we're very, very adept at pattern seeking, and nature is not a pattern. So try and be random as best as you can, and try and notice any patterns that's coming off what you're doing. It'll pay you. Now, I don't want to put in too many thick branches. The rest will all be thinner branches. Well, but I still need to put in a few more. Okay. Now, there are things here that I want to put in, like distant trees, you know? And that's too, is it too? You know, no, it's not too dark. It's too dark at the base here, so I'll just be cautious of that. A little bit of blue in it. Cool it down a little bit. Let me see. Okay. Just off in the distance there, folks. Yeah, yes, it's breaking through these here, but yeah, I can redo those. I wouldn't concern myself too much about it. So I'm going to do another one up here. Now I want a different brush. And at the minute, I'm kind of unsure which one to use. Here's a pointed edge that I haven't used. It's a brand new pointed edge. So it is, or not a pointed edge, what are they called? Extended point. Nice warmish ones here, but not too warm. Let me see, just off in the back here. Too dark. I want it somewhat hidden, just barely noticeable. Well, not barely noticeable, but not as noticeable as the front ones here. That is what it is. Still a bit too dark, I think. That's a bit better. Now these extended points are great because they break up, they split and they break up, and if you want them to, depending on how the viscosity of the paint that you've got on it. They're brilliant for it. And these are just old rough trees off in the distance, a little bit of blue in it here. And then I'm going to gently soften these with a little bit of a kitchen towel here, and I'll maybe use the fan brush, but at the minute, no, just do this and see what it looks like. Okay, not bad now, that's okay. That's okay, I'll just hit it just gently. Oh well, just gently. They're off in the distance. So they are. Bit of life in the background, as it were. Right, now that little pointed thing is good, but I think I need one I want one a little bit thicker than that for my next trick. Goodness me. I don't half talk some nonsense at times. Don't half talk some nonsense. Trick? What am I talking about? Trick. Anyway, right. Over here. For my next tree, and maybe that's what I tried to say, tree, and I got mixed up with trick. So now I don't know if this brush is suitable for me or not, but let's see, just another wee branch up in here. Oh, I don't want it too squiggly. All right. Okay. Again, trying to just add some life. So that wee pointed brush would be great for all these little twigs here that I want to put on. Put a bit of orange in it. Okay, now let me just see here. No, it's not coming off. It's not coming off the brush the way I want it to. The way it does with the larger ones. No, not happy with that. No. Right, I'll use the larger one and see how thin I can get this to act here. Let me see now. That's better. That's a bit better. Happier with that. Yes, for sure. A little bit darker, and some of them a little bit darker, some of them a little bit lighter. Now a little bit darker. Here's a. Whenever you're against something here and silhouetting, you make it a little bit darker. And whenever you're up against this light shining through, you can make it a little bit lighter, but still a silhouette. You don't want a stark black one up here if it's a thin twig, because the light's going to pass through it or around it, and you're not going to see much of it. Right, let me see, where am I, Ba, 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 ba. Still just creating lots of branches. Crossing branches. Probably will need to put a little bit of raw umber in a second or two. Right. Sometimes it feels like you can't add enough spirits into it. That's another thing too, folks. Don't be afraid to keep adding the spirits into it. Do what it takes to get it on the canvas. Right, now we're just going to fill in these areas here. Okay. Is there any more along here maybe? See, you can just fill all those in. It's funny, that is throwing me. I keep focusing in on it, and I know I'm going to fix it later, but it's throwing me. So I just took it out of the equation there for a second. Right, so now what I'm going to do, put a little bit of this over it here, just here, and press it randomly in areas, and that's to break up the twigs. I'm not smearing. I'm not sure that worked. No, I've left it too long, I think. But hey ho, it's still coming across okay. Yep. Let me see now. Let me see, where did I put that? There we go. Right, I'm just going to take a moment to see what needs done and where. Same again there. Now this is a dry brush. What I'm using here, the dry flat brush. And all I'm doing is creating that space. Just take it, just a bit too much. Is all. Redo that. I just removed a bit too much is all. There's a bit of a tree trunk in the background there. Now, I do want some space here. There we go. And I'll just leave that to tack up a little bit before I hit it with something else. I'm going to begin working in around this area here. And I'm going to start with the darks here. Nice, I'll put out some raw umber. Now raw umber and raw umber and ultramarine blue make a good dark color. And a little bit of cadmium red in this. A bit of spirits, just to liven it up a touch. And then that's coming here, just to create these areas. And this time I'm going to let these tack up a little bit. Just a little bit before I try and remove some of it. A little bit more red. I'll put a little bit of oxide red in it. Because we're in a very orangey painting today. Okay, let's see where we are here. Right. Now I'm just going to what? Where's my other brush? There we go. Nope, I want a different one. I want a different one. Right. Yes, that will do. Okay, so let me get a nice real orange here. A genuine bona fide orange. Right. Little tiniest bit of spirits. Let me just see up in here. Just creating the creating this up in here. I see him again on this side, probably a bit darker. I'll actually put a little bit of oxide red in this. Just up here. I'll do it this way. All I'm doing here is toning this canvas a little bit. Excuse me. See him here. See now, because we're in a forest and things are going off into the distance, everything is a gradient in this sense as it's coming forward. It's a gradient in color, it's a gradient in tone, and it's a gradient in temperature. And in fact, you know what, that's most of the cases whenever you're painting anyway. So it is, if not all the case. Right, okay, so let me just add into this here. Just a little bit. There. Now, I'm just going to wipe some of that off. Gently though, I don't want to remove it. I just want to Now this down here should be, yeah, tacked up enough for me to mess around with it a touch. And up in here too, just creating all those textures best as you can. All right, now you can see the gradient coming down and hitting that. Let's work on the grasses now. I'm going to clean off a brush. Which one though? Which one? I'll do these ones. I'll do this one. This is an old, expensive brush. You've seen it before. I've used it just recently there. Rosemary & Co. Long Flat Series 279, but it's an old one. It's been beat up a bit. So now, let's get some raw umber here. A little bit of yellow in it, and lots of orange in it, for sure. A bit of red there, oxide red. And then, let's see how green that is. Am I happy with that? No, not quite. It's a bit too dark. A little bit of spirits on it, just to loosen it up a touch. There we go, there we go. Now we're moving into that. There we go. Okay. Now the same over here, but not too much. You don't want it all the same wherever you're going. And now I'm coming up onto the into this area, so brightening it as I'm going up. Shifting the hue a little bit, shifting the tone, keeping the temperature, because we're still at the front, keeping the temperature somewhat similar. Just twisting the brush just to get it to come off more random. I don't want to go up into the trees just yet, for there's still work to be done on the trees. But I do want this a bit brighter. Just being careful as to not be too bright. Now it still stands whenever I say that mistakes are easily fixed. They're relatively easily fixed, but why give yourself more work? That's all I'm thinking here. Why give yourself the work if you don't have to? Right, so let's knock this back with some kitchen towels now. Just softening it, creating more texture in it. Now down here is blended in a bit too much, so I will come along a wee bit later and add to that. So let me see now. Let me see this here. Not too keen on this. The way that transitions there. Okay, so let me see. Yep, a bit better. Okay, I'm getting there now. Let me see now. Should I work on the road? I think I'll finish the road, and that'll allow me to put grasses and whatnot over it. So I think I will. I shall finish this road. Finish the road. Now we're off in the distance. Oh, I got a lot of paint on my hand there. Now we're off in the distance here, folks. So, a bit of a cool light in the back here. Let me see now. A little bit of liquid on it just to help it come off the brush a bit. Let me just see here. Well, look at that. I can get myself a nice wee path along here. Just along there. The way that brush breaks it up, that's quite good. Quite happy with that, with the progression of that. Now, coming down here. Okay. As I'm coming down, I want to get a little bit warmer. Let me see now. So I come down here. A little bit warmer again. Look at that. All right. Okay. Now, let's see. What am I to do here? What am I to do? I think I'll make it a little bit more orange. Put some orange in. There's an awful lot of orange in the entire painting, so I'm just going to harmonize the whole thing if I can. Let's just see a little bit of liquid and just taking a lot off the brush. So let me see if I should orange this up as much as this. Aye, that's okay. I'll come along and I will dampen it back with some. Come along and with the kitchen towel. Need a new one because there's an awful lot of paint in that old one. And there we go. Now, all I want here is some highlights. And some skylight too. Don't be afraid to put some skylight into it. As in the skylight over here, further back than the sky over there, because you know the gradient of the sky as it comes up and over is directly above this, and it's filtering through the branches and the trees, so it'll be a little bit cooler in certain areas and whatnot, and it just helps the make it a little bit violet. It just helps the overall aesthetics of it, I think, too. There we go. Now, what I need to do is break up the path, break up the edges of the path. But before I do it, I'm going to put on a little bit of a highlight or two. Just there, just here. Maybe it's a bit too highlighty. Just here. Another one, another one. There. Now I want to break up this, the edges of this. So a small round brush wherever it is. And that's just drag and drop some things into it. Just taking away these edges. Too straight, you know, too cultivated, as it were. And bring it down onto here, just breaking it up. It's a long, long, lonely night. You can make the morning if you try. Not being too precious about this, I just want this properly broken up. Okay. Now, same again. Alright, now I think there is still a good wee bit of work to do. The trees need a doing, and so the dozen. I think this is too bright, and I'm just going to try it. I'll take it off. So I will. I think this is, I think it's a bit too bright, but we'll see. Now, oh, look at that. Now this is the rough brush I was telling you about, and it is just a cheap, Genix art. Terrible name. It's just a cheap brush. But because it's rough, it has that rough, like hog bristle type thing. It leaves behind a lot of texture, as you see there. Right, okay, now it's a bit too bright, Let's just pull it back a bit. Alright, what I want to do here is soften some edges. I want some lost edges. And I want some knots and stuff in it, some knots and whatnot in the tree. So just pull this back a bit. Just going in the direction of the cylinder of the tree. Obviously that's not the direction, but generally you kind of want it going in this direction. Right, I want to line that a little bit. A little bit of a highlight in here, this shining through. Careful not to be too, I'm actually going to start off hopefully a bit darker than what's necessary, just as a test. No, that's good. That just helps differentiate that tree from that tree. Yeah, okay. Now same again on this, the tree behind it. And I've set my brush down and there it is there. It's even darker still here. I just want you to notice this one in the back and no more. Turning the brush over a little bit, just to use the other edge. There's nothing, no trick about it, just using the other edge. There we go. Alright, now I just want to put down the odd knot in it here and there. So Knots are a bit darker. Probably has to be a bit darker than that. I know you have to be able to see them, isn't that right, folks? No point if you can't see them. But they can't be too apparent either. So that's the thing about tones. You can do a painting with 3 tones. Easily, you can do a painting with 3 tones. But the more detailed you want it, the more lifelike you want it, the more impressionistic even that you want it. Those 3 splits up into 6, that splits up into 12, and so on and so on. And that's entirely up to you how much you want to split it up. And they can be so close together. And you can still notice them, you can still see them. Okay. Now. Just while I'm here, I'm just going to colour the base of this in, just darken it. It shouldn't kind of be that light. And same over here, just scumbling this in, I suppose. This is close to a scumble. Alright. Now I don't like the way that comes up here. Don't mind those 2 for some reason, just don't like this one. Okay, so let me see now. Now, I see him on this side, only I want it warmer because it's right where the sun is. And again, I've sat my brush down, I can't find it. There we go. Right. So let's see. A little bit warmer here. In fact, I'll use the red here, so the oxide red. A little tiny bit of yellow in it. Just to brighten it and bring it back a touch. And some of that grey. So let me see here. Is that brighter? It is a bit brighter, but it's not bright enough. Let me see. Just ruining the edge of this too. I don't want a complete sharp edge here as well. So I'm going to, yeah, and the same on this side too. I should have done that over here too. Just slightly ruin the edge. There's no need for it to be so sharp. I don't mind the silhouette here being sharp, but there. There we go. Now, what is left? Now, there's still a good bit left, so there is. I want down here to be more thingy. if you can understand the word thingy. A slightly more texture in it here and there. Now, what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to flick it on. I'm going to flick on the texture and then hit it quite quickly with the kitchen towel. Let me see. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Just down in here. That's a credit card, and I'm just flicking it. Okay, I see him over here. Creates a mottled look there. So gently, just ever so gently, just going to gently lift it. I don't want to take it off. Just darkening that area is all. And then I'm going to do the same. Or should I do it this way? I'm unsure whether I should do it this way or not. Let me see. Sure. If it doesn't work, I'll take it off. Right, so not quite so thin as I just done there. Slightly thicker viscosity, slightly more viscous. So now, and a bit more controlled, closer to the canvas, a bit more controlled as to where I want it to land. There-ish. Same here. This is a wee trick. I mean, you can paint all this on, you can dab it on, as you've seen me do quite a few times, but this is another wee trick to create textures. And I will be of course painting it on up at the top here whenever I want to go into the tree. This is just another little trick for you. All right. Right. So, same again. Just a gentlest of dabs. You're not removing it. Just knocking it back a tiniest of bits. There we go. Lovely. Now, I've just created, I'll just use a dry brush just to kind of work them in. Nothing wrong with a wee spackle or two on the footpath anyway. There now. Right, so now what am I doing? Yes, I want to come up into the trees with some grasses. So I'm looking for a wee loose brush. There's one. I'm just going to roll it on. You just got to make the viscosity thin enough. Oops, I also have to keep my eye on my tones. Now, not too much on the brush. At least just to begin with, until you get a feel for it, until you get a feel of where it's going. Then you can roll it and dab it and whatnot. It's coming up into the trees there. All right, okay, now a little bit more orange here. Just using this orange that's over here. A little bit brighter, and taking a little bit off the brush and just up here. All right. Now, I'm just going to continue here. keeping that gradient just is all. Wee pathway up into here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk away for a little bit of a time. I'm going to have myself a coffee and then come back and see what I've done. I'll see you shortly. Bye. Okay, folks, just gonna land on this one again, and then maybe call this one a day soon. I'm only after another little session there, so I'm just going to use the paint that's on the canvas here. Might as well. Nearly finished this one. Nearly finished this one. What a nice pink one here for just for up in here. I just want to create some definite whites up in here. Let me see. Just here. Okay. Now, I believe a little bit of blue. A little bit of the ultramarine blue in this one. Let me see here. No, that's actually a little bit darker. Just a little bit. Okay. Now, some highlights on the road. Not much though, just a few. Let me see. Now I'm going to put this on and really knock it back a bit as well. Yeah. Some highlights there, folks, and then just lots of little twigs and grasses and your whatnots to go in here. What I will do actually is I'll just put in a little bit of a darker spots here and there, and I will do it with some goodness me, way too much. Now, a certain level of caution. Lots of randomness there due to the shape of this brush. get yourself a good beat up brush. It helps with a lot of randomness. Okay. And maybe someday, just let me see here, let me see here, boom, boom. And the brush is a bit stiff. Just the odd stick here and there. A little bit further off in the distance, smaller ones. And then, let's just finish it with a few thingamajigs here and there. Yeah, just getting the ideas of it there. All right, I think that we might be done with that. Right, okay folks, now let's get the tape off. So if you would, please like and subscribe. It helps with the algorithm and all of that. Watch some videos to the end. You're heading out to do some shopping. Stick one on in the background. And it all plays its role, you know. So I'm told. Just trying to play this YouTube game. Okay folks, now I straighten that up a little bit. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all again in the next one. Bye for now.